So the next person I'm going to talk about is Solomon Burke, because he was rather influential towards like how soul was named. So he was originally an R&B artist, but didn't actually like the label R&B. So the people he worked with had to come up with a different name, so it's more like, you know, that he liked. So they came up with soul, because he was before he was born, his grandmother, I do believe, stated that he was born to be a star. So he was, from a young age, he did like loads of choir songs. He was in gospel groups in his church, and he was preaching at the age of 9, I think. So he was quite fancy-schmancy. And there's some of his songs.
We're going to play a little clip of a podcast currently.
Sessions, but he always thought he worked better when he had a co-producer, and he liked the song Burns had written, Cry to Me, another of his Drifters sound-alikes. So he asked Burns into the studio to produce Burke singing that song. The two didn't get on very well at first. Burke's original comment on meeting Burns was, "Who is this Paddy Mother?" except he included the expletive that my general audience content rating prevents me from saying there. But it's hard to argue with the results, one of the great soul records of all time. Burke was the closest thing to a male solo star they now had, and clearly a major talent, but he was also a very opinionated person, and not easy to get on with. His grandmother had had a dream 12 years before he was born, in which she believed God had told her of her future grandson's importance. She'd founded a church, Solomon's Temple, the House of God for All People, in anticipation of his birth, and he'd started preaching there from the age of 7 as the church's spiritual leader. Rather unsurprisingly, he had rather a large ego, and that ego wasn't made any smaller by the fact that he was clearly a very talented singer. His strong opinions included things like how his music was to be marketed. He was fine with singing pop songs rather than the gospel music he'd started out in, as he needed the money. He had 8 kids, and as well as being a singer and priest, he was also a mortician, and had a side job shoveling snow for $4 an hour. But he wasn't keen on being marketed as rhythm and blues. Rhythm and blues was dirty music, not respectable. His music needed to be called something else. After some discussion with Atlantic, everyone agreed on a new label that would be acceptable to his church, one that had previously been applied to a type of mostly instrumental jazz influenced by black gospel music, but from this point on would be applied almost exclusively to black gospel-influenced pop music in the lineage of Ray Charles and Clyde McPhatter. Burke was not singing rhythm and blues, but soul music. Wexler had produced Burke.
Don't you feel like a crying? Don't you feel like crying? Well, here I am. Well, you better listen, my sisters and brothers. If you do, you can hear there are voices still calling across the years. Yeah.
Right, this is characteristics. So, like Jay said earlier, there's quite a lot of emphasis on the rhythm sections of soul music, and then combined with that gospel influence with the powerful vocals makes some really good music that's really enjoyable for everyone. And thinking about the rhythm sections, what instruments do we think are most prominent in soul music?